Well, the world has been ending for a little while. We don't really know how long. I've witnessed earthquakes, volcanoes, meteors, and tidal waves, even a low-level nuclear event, and all that was just within the last few months. I'm your host. You can call me the Lone Transmitter, and coming to you live from Yellow Brook City, you're listening to Wasteland Free Radio. Well, it sure feels good to get out and stretch my legs after these last few weeks of quarantine. Now you might be asking, why did you have to quarantine, Lone Transmitter? Well, I guess if you've been living under a rock, inside a fallout shelter, or in a cave with a power-crazed cult leader who won't let you see the sun, if you could even see the sun, I will catch you all up. So this last apocalypse started when a piece of lost technology fell from the sky and crashed into the Freeman Street Bridge. Yellowbrook residents found it odd that it was shaped like an egg, and contrary to one person's unpopular opinion, no, there was no kaiju chicken inside. So we took it back to Dynamo Science Labs for study and testing, and turns out it was a spaceship. It also had a problem with its fusion reactor, so it exploded during the science fair and caused a huge problem. But at least Weatherbot 95 took first place. So the space egg, as we've been calling it, exploded, destroyed Dynamo Science Labs, rest in peace, and spread ionizing radiation across the entire city, so yeah, I've been in quarantine. But it just wouldn't be the apocalypse without your regularly scheduled nuclear fallout. Now, there are some among us who think this wasn't just a spaceship, and they think it's a time machine, and okay, let me just make this clear. I don't think it's a time machine. It wouldn't be my first, but I just don't think it is. There's no evidence. It's just from the past. Oh, but there was that guy that came out of the rubble. What was his name? Right, Dr. Professor Elux. Now, I don't think he's a time traveler, but I think he was in that spaceship, and I bet he's a descendant of the people who owned Elux Electronics Company. Max and I were trying to pull a salvage job there, but all of their components are trash, so it was a complete waste of our time. I guess we shouldn't be surprised that a spaceship designed by those people crashed. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense now that I think about it. I'm not sure if he's a doctor or a professor or if that's actually his name, but, we'll see. Elux isn't exactly the most common name here in the Radlands, so I'm guessing they are at least related. Anyway, I'll get an interview with him at some point in the future. I'm not actually sure where he is right now, or when he is right now. That's a little joke. I really don't think he's a time traveler. It's just my gut feeling. But he does remind me of those pseudoscience spewing wackadoos from before the Great Devastation. The ones that used to try to launch themselves into the sky in homemade rockets to prove the Earth was flat. I know they still exist, but it's not like they have the internet anymore. It's pretty hard to find an uplink these days. But anyway, we did find the schematics to the space egg in the ruins of Elux Electronics Company, so we're pretty sure that it was built before the Great Devastation, but then again, so was most of civilization. Oh well. Alright, I'm almost home, and it looks like nobody tried to break into the station this time. And believe me, that's good for everybody. The station beast had to go to the vet the other day, and she is not a very happy kitty. Actually, she's not a kitty at all right now, but she's assumed the form of something I can't even begin to describe. So I don't really mind giving her a little more space. Alright, home sweet home. Radlanders, it would seem I owe someone an apology. I said some things that weren't qualified, and they were actually downright rude, so Grand Reverend Supreme, I'm sorry. You are one hell of an actor. In fact, you are so convincing that I fell for it. I really thought you were a cultist, hence my hostile attitude toward you. I know it all worked out and you loved the controversy that it started, but I'm still sorry for any disrespect that I might have shown you, and I look forward to working more with you in the future. I'm sure we'll see Grand Reverend Supreme again, but right now he's just holed up in his mannequin factory working on his newest project. It may or may not be ice cream, I'm not really sure what he's doing right now, but from what I hear, he's doing quite well. I'm not hearing weird screams coming from the mannequin factory late at night, and I've heard he has plans to take his whole Space King Returns thing on the road.
I am actually really excited for him. Sounds like a great time. Or at least a weird time, I guess.
Well, ever since Weatherbot 95 took first place at the science fair, it's like he's been working 26 hours a day. And he's a robot, he can take it. But with the exception of a few risque encounters with one of his many girlfriends, he's burning the midnight oil at both ends, or however that saying goes. The guy never stops moving. Maybe that's what Max the Millions means when she says bots do it best. No, never mind, that's probably not what she means. Yes, it's bizarre that his forecasts aren't all that accurate considering he is a weather bot and all, but he's doing great things out there. His variable magnetic field whatever, you know, the project that won him first prize in the science fair? It's the first invention of its kind, and he says it could revolutionize the way we grow as a society. So his field coil is part weather control machine, part radiation shield, and he's had varying degrees of success. The thing is, his experiments won't work inside the city, and we don't know why. But it's probably got something to do with the protective dome. It's the same reason my radio signal can't go too far outside of the city. It gives off some kind of interference, but it's just something we've learned to live with. But Weatherbot 95 told me that he'd try his best to send us a forecast while he's out there. Of course, if it slips his positronic mind, I'm not going to hold it against him. He's out there literally trying to save the world. It's not a big deal. I mean, he's got an accuracy rate of error anyway, right? Yes, we're still technically roommates, but he really isn't home all that often anymore. And when he does come back into town, he's usually just crashing with Max. And that's all good, that's all fine. The only thing that really worries me about him is that Weatherbot 95 is running a really unstable operating system. Max has found some pretty decent updates for him, but we can't find one for Weatherbots. And she can usually find anything and everything for a price. If he was a repair bot or a med bot, it'd be a piece of cake. And I'm not talking about the yellow cake uranium that he leaves behind whenever he makes a deposit. There just isn't a lot of information out there on the Weatherbot platform at all. He is the only one of his kind as far as I know, and he might even be a prototype. I don't know. I'll dig through the ruins of Dynamo Science Labs to find some literature on the Weatherbot platform at some point, but I can't do that until after the leftover radiation clears. It's still a mess over there. I've made it this long without developing an extra mutation, and I'd like to keep it that way. There's nothing wrong with being a mutant, by the way, but as a cyborg, I'm just a little partial to whatever humanity I have left. Replacing part of your brain with a cybernetic implant to better organize your memory storage system sounds cool, but it's actually a huge pain in the neocortex. You know what I mean? In business news this week, Max the Millions, our local supply and salvage mogul, is doing her best to fill in the gap left by the destruction of Dynamo Science Labs. All of the scientists and workers left town after the incident, so Max laid claim to the ruins and plans to start building as soon as the radiation clears. She's already working on the water purification systems and plans to sell whatever she could manage to bottle. Max might be all about business, but she's not a monster. Yellowbrook residents will of course receive a discount on her water and whatever water-based product she comes up with. And before you say anything, yes, I agree. Water should be free. And it is. But you don't want to drink the water from the Yellow Brook. Trust me, I repeat, and I'm going to say it louder in case you live outside the protective dome. Do not drink the yellow water. It never fails. There's always one person. Once the water goes through purification, it is exactly the way it should be. Potable and purple. And no, I can't actually explain that. Before the Great Devastation, drinking water was clear, and I find that as fascinating as I do disgusting. Some folks say it's one of those weird doomsday prophecies coming true, like the one about the black hole at the center of the planet, or the rise of a race of kaiju chickens, or the one where the Space King returns and destroys the universe with his all-consuming, glorious, eternal purging fire. I saw a dramatization of that one recently at the science fair. Not the appropriate place for it, I agree, but it was well done and pretty immersive. I give it a 6.66 out of 10. But the one prophecy that might have come true was the one where a spaceship named Sneckwood crashes into the sea and the water turns into a new color of the rainbow every time there's an eclipse or something. I don't know, cults are weird. That still doesn't explain why most water is purple and ours here is yellow, but I don't really care about doomsday prophecies. It's relatively safe to bathe in water no matter the color, you just don't want to drink it, okay? Okay. Speaking of bathing, is your blood pumping after a day of surviving in the Radlands? Are you looking to blow off some steam before the bloodlust of your road warrior upbringing takes hold? Then it's time to swing over to the bloodbath. Test your mettle against the Radlands' strongest, weirdest, and most unhinged monsters for a cash prize of 20 bits. See if you have what it takes to fight not one, not two, but 3 roach wasps at once. The Bloodbath is the most exclusive fight club in the Radlands, and don't worry, you won't be fighting any people at the Bloodbath. Only creatures that will eat you and devour your soul with your mutant children watching. Wow, this ad is dark. Hey, who wrote this? The Bloodbath. Have a killer good time.
The Bloodbath is partnered with RCO, the Radlands Conservation Organization. If you would like to get involved with the conservation of our precious radioactive wildlife, please leave the corpse of a recent roach wasp kill on your doorstep, and an associate will be with you when you wake up the following morning.
In a surprising and unprecedented move, local authorities have begun the extremely difficult process of reviving the mayor. Every so often, the mayor is woken up from his cryosleep, and it's not your typical hibernation. You see, actual cryogenic stasis was humanity's first attempt at inducing hibernation. And while it was technically a success, one of the problems is regulating human temperature so none of the water in our body actually freezes or boils or evaporates, so it took a while to get it right. And if I'm being entirely honest, we never quite did. And yes, I know humans aren't the only beings to inhabit the world. Please remember that I am a cyborg, my best friend is a robot, and I think I've done my part in making Brook City a pretty open place to live, regardless of what kind of sentient life form you are. We all belong to the planet Earth, unfortunately, and we have to do what we can to work together. That being said, I still don't know if Toxic Tina's kaiju mold experiment qualifies, but I'll still treat them with the same respect I do until I know for sure. What was I saying? Oh, right. The mayor and hibernation. Well, his cryosleep was a 95% success. It's just that last 5% that throws the whole thing off, because, how do I put this lightly? Well, he didn't lose any limbs or fingers, and his vital systems are all still functioning, but there's always some kind of organ failure with these projects, and, well, he's just missing a couple layers of skin. That's all. It's a little frightening the first time you see it, and the second. Honestly, I'm still not used to it, and this will be the third of his awakenings I've been around for. I can't for the half-life of me tell if he's getting worse each awakening or if it's just the same transparent skin I've been having nightmares about this entire time. It's not his fault that he looks like a zombie. Oh, wow, I'm so sorry. I almost said the Z word. I didn't mean to say it. I didn't mean to scare anybody. I'm really sorry. Anyway, we don't just wake him up.
The last time he woke up, local authorities needed a number of algorithmic adjustments, and the mayor is the only one that knows how to do it. It's never anything too severe, but this time I'd love to see if some new infrastructure projects get a green light. Right now, there's only the one bridge in or out of town, and last year it was destroyed by a meteor. It's been rebuilt, sure, but we could probably use a backup plan. Now, local authorities' code dates back to before the Great Devastation, and it's not doing so well. But if you would like to see any changes made to the way they govern Brook City, make sure you get your requests into the mayor's office before the end of the week. However, I would advise not going inside the mayor's office because watching him coming out of cryosleep is terrifying. I do not recommend it. If you walk the streets of Brook City at night, you might catch a glimpse of local legend Danny Sixfingers smoking his cigarettes on the roof of his glove factory. He used to make custom gloves for his own hands in this factory, but that's something he doesn't really have to do anymore, because he returned from a journey last year with fully functional, 5-fingered hands. I sat down with him a little while ago and he told me that his fingers are, quote, totally normal, and now I, don't believe him, at all. Of course, I don't really have much of a poker face and he saw that I didn't believe him. So he promptly decided to end our interview by giving me the fingers. And no, not like that. He's not my type. But he tried to flip me off and failed because all of his fingers moved at the same time. I don't know why anybody would trade 6 usable fingers for 10 that don't work, but to each their own. I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum. I am a little curious as to what he did with his old hands, and I would love to know where he got the new ones. He certainly didn't buy them from Toxic Tina, who runs our discount medical store. Her extra body parts are in pretty good shape, and she keeps them as fresh as she can to guarantee functionality, so it's definitely not one of hers. So if you happen to see Danny smoking on the roof of his building, don't ask him any questions, because he'll probably just give you the fingers. Still no word from the courier, by the way. The last I heard, they were up at the Glowing Shore visiting their family, but you know, I say up at the Glowing Shore, but come to think of it, I don't really know where the Glowing Shore is, I just know it's where they call home. And despite popular belief, it is not glowing because of excess radiation. They call it the Glowing Shore because you can nearly always see the aurora whenever you walk outside, as long as it's dark out, of course. It's no secret that Earth's magnetic field is completely out of whack, and we're all aware that we're at a solar maximum right now, and that right there is the perfect combination for northern lights, or southern lights, or western lights, or it doesn't really matter what direction you're looking. If it's dark out and you're near the Glowing Shore, just look up. Of course, I still don't know where the Glowing Shore is, but that's okay. I haven't really left this region in a while. It's not all that safe out there, and I'm not much of a fighter, you know? I know I sound really tough on this microphone. I've never been in a fight. Okay, checking messages. Let's see what we've got. Here's one from Spanky McGriddle. They ask, "Hey Lone Transmitter, is Weatherbot 95 single?" That's a very good question, Spanky McGriddle, and the answer is no, but that doesn't mean he's not available. I wouldn't necessarily recommend getting in the way of Max the Millions or Rough Roxanne, but you can certainly shoot your shot if you want to get hot with a Weatherbot. Wow, that was great. The courier would be proud. Half off at Toxic Tina's Discount Medical Supply. Not bad, not bad. Half off of what? Wait a minute. It's fine. I don't need to ask that question. Okay, it looks like I have to renew my memory dump subscription. No big deal. 600 ways to make your man happy. I'll save that one for later. Oh, good. Here's one from Anime Fan 29. He asks, "Where did you put the kaiju chicken? I know for a fact it showed up in the space egg." No, man, it didn't. There's no kaiju chicken inside the space egg. First off, there's no space egg anymore. It's gone. It blew up. If there was a kaiju chicken in that space egg, it's probably also dead. Dude, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe talk to the Radlands Conservatory Organization, or whatever they are. they're all about conserving wildlife, maybe they know where you can find yourself a kaiju chicken. Well, Radlanders, I think that's about it for me. I've got a little bit of work to do around the station, and I've got to clean up after the station beast. You don't want to see the mess I'm looking at right now. It's disgusting, but it's also kind of beautiful. Okay, good to know my retro resequencer is booting up just fine. Man, they just don't build tech like they used to. If you're unfamiliar with this show, I scour the Radlands looking for old data tapes. And on those data tapes, I usually find music from before the Great Devastation. It's wild. Taking you out today is a group of rad witches from Salem, Massachusetts. The band is named Hyber, and this is their song, Grow. I'm the Lone Transmitter, and you've been listening to Wasteland Free Radio, your very last source for news.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I don't have any more time to give this era of my life. Peace of mind.
Thank you for listening to the Season 2 premiere of Wasteland Free Radio. This episode was written by J.S. Pitcher. Our intro, background, and outro music is by 11D7, and today's retro resequencer was the band Hyber with their song, Grow. If you liked what you heard today, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you listen to the show. If you're a musician and you want your music featured on the show, send us an email to wastelandfreeradio@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram, and if you really love the show, you can support us on Patreon. You can also follow us for free there. I'd love to see you. Thanks for joining us for Season 2, and remember, the world could end at any moment. It's never too early to talk about your bug-out plan with your family.